Good morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth. We are in a new place. We have traveled to Glacier National Park. Told you we were going to be landlocked. So, my favorite maps, this is definitely one of my favorite places. So, let's make a map.
Hello. I'm going to not do a voiceover because they're harder to edit and it's late in the afternoon and I'm just now getting going. But look at this luscious Prima Woodlands. And because of this, and like I said, I've been in the water lately with my maps, the first two. Well, Novato has coastal, Marin County has coastal borders, but obviously Port Cornwall is all lots of water. So I decided to go landlocked, completely landlocked this time. I'm going to the opposite extreme. And this just came, which is the Woodlands, so it's quite appropriate. Listen to these names though. Sandridge, Shadow, Cavern, Foxberry, Pond, which is luscious, Stream, which looks luscious, Bear, Mist, Greystone, Daylight, Redwood, Deep Moss. Oh my gosh. Let's just play with this for a minute. Should I just do it on here? Sure, why not? Yeah. It's never a dull moment. My mom has thrown her back out / has a pinched nerve / we don't know, a muscle issue, and it's affecting her legs and she's in a lot of pain. Okay, this is Pond. And I got lots of water on here. So I fussed at her. I knew she was in pain. I knew she was having a problem, but she wouldn't tell. So I just let her go at her own pace. Ooh, Foxberry, that's pretty. At her own pace, because we're trying to give them a little bit of independence before we take it all away. This is Cavern. And now this is a cream paper, my Hobonichi Traveler's Notebook. Shadow. But anyhow, it's the 5th day and she's in a lot of pain and not sleeping, so she's got to be up and at 'em for my dad. So I fussed at her and politely, as a daughter does. This is Bear. That's a pretty brown. And she's got, ooh, this is Mist. That's a combination of the blue that I really like with Prima and a woody version of that blue. Anyhow, bless her heart, she's a little loopy, which they said she would be. So we just stuck some stuff in a crock pot because my dad has to have a full meal because she spoiled him. That's Redwood. Pretty over the years, and that's what he's used to. That's what he wants. Ooh, Deep Moss. Ooh, I love that. Look at those. Are they not luscious? Oh my goodness. I think Deep Moss is my favorite. Thought it was going to be this pond color. But, oh dear. I've got to get a different tray because they all don't fit together anymore. And I would rather have them in one huge tray. Okay, that's my next Amazon purchase, but my husband's thinking of changing our mailbox into something bigger so that the Amazon Prime packages can get in the box easier. Oh Lord, that's when you know you've gone too far. Anyhow, okay. So anyhow, it's been quite a day already. And I am not going to speed this up because I'm only going to draw the outline of Glacier National Park. Woohoo! My all-time favorite national, well, I like Yosemite for other reasons, but Glacier probably is my favorite. Don't tell California. All right, so now let me make sure I get this the right width before I start drawing. I think somebody else is watching my videos besides just you, Kurtie. Hi, whoever you are. Hope you like them. I hope you have realized I don't teach, I don't sell. I might recommend like these, but it is me. I'm here every day, hopefully, timing allowing. And right now, I am a traveler. I'm a gypsy by heart. But I have elderly parents, and we are kind of landlocked by choice. Yeah, that'll go. I think I'm going to just trace over this and make this line darker. And then use that as my... And this is just photocopy paper. It's not good watercolor paper, but it is what it is. All right. So, yep, we are landlocked. Normally we do a big trip a year, sometimes 2 decent ones. Last year we had one planned to Sequoia. My husband had a trip in San Diego, and we were going to rent a car and drive to Sequoia and see my family up in the slightly northern end of San Joaquin Valley. And that did not pan out, and we are landlocked with parents right now. My parents. Yeah, see, that's what I want to do. All right, admittedly, this is not going to fit properly, but we're going to make it fit. This is not exactly geographically correct, but it's close enough for government work. Oh, perhaps in the United States, we should not say that, since our government leaves a lot to be desired with our current... Oh, that's a whole nother ball of wax. Don't get me started there either. Okay, that's not perfect, but it's darn close. Okay. So today, all I'm going to do is paint this brown with my new Woodlands watercolors. And because this is not good quality paper, it is what it is. Should I use Cavern, Bear, or Redwood? I kind of like Cavern because it's a combination of a light brown, but it might be a little bit too orangish for what I want to do, but we're going to go with it. We can put another layer on there, right? Right. So, yeah, this is just luscious. Luscious palette. And I think these are different than the ones I've had before, because sometimes I think they overlap their colors. I might be wrong. They might be very similar. I'm probably wrong. Don't listen to me. But, this one is obvious differences, and it is gorgeous. Well, they're all always gorgeous, but this one happens to be just appropriate for Glacier National Park, which is my all-time favorite park in the United States. Kurtie, you've heard this story, but my other viewer might not have. My husband and I have been to Glacier twice. Was I there as a kid? I don't remember. I grew up in California, so we got to see, and we camped and traveled a lot. What happens if you add a little bit of bear, since this is bear country. So early, about 10 years ago, my husband and I went to Glacier on vacation and absolutely loved it. And 3 years ago was our 20th anniversary, wedding anniversary, so we went back. Now, we are a little bit older than what we were the first time, and my husband is 15 years older than me, so he's even older than Methuselah, but not really. He's very young at heart and very agile and very, I mean, he still works. He's not retired or anything. So anyhow, but you kind of do that when you own your own business and you're a sole proprietor. You kind of work until you don't want to. So why I'm saying all this is because one day we decided to do the Highline Trail, which is off the Logan Pass parking area. And then you hike, and there's a, you can hike to many other places from that trail, but it's about they recommend about a full day for our age, our agility, blah, 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 blah. So we packed up water for a day. We packed up snacks we stayed at either Lake McDonald or Mini Glacier Lodge or St. Mary's Lodge that year. We divided our time in between a couple of the lodges, which are absolutely gorgeous. And they packed us up a lunch for hikers. They sell them all the time. And it's got fruit and carbs, a lot of bread, big thick rolls of sandwich, and then fruit, and I think like a cookie and a candy bar or a trail bar, something like that. And we hiked and we hiked and we hiked and we hiked, and we're like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? We had left our car. We rented a car because we flew into Kalispell. We rented a car at the other end of this trail that you can pick up a road to. Actually, I think it's like over here. Where did we? I don't know. Anyhow, so the plan was to hike this like a 10-mile trail, pick up our car that late afternoon, and drive back. I think we were actually staying in a B&B in West Glacier. We were that time, yeah. Anyhow, well, we got up to there's a cabin up here it's like a place for backpackers, big time backpackers can rent a room, and then you stay there or whatever and go off from other trails from there. We got that far, which was about 3/4 of the way, and it was about 5 o'clock, and number one, the ranger would not let us go the rest of the 4 miles down because it was going to be dark. And we said, we're just going to sleep on a rock, we don't care. He goes, there's bears out there, you can't do that. So we did not anticipate. We were out of water, we were out of food, we did stupid touristy things is what we did. Luckily, unfortunately, that year there were a ton of forest fires, so there were 2 beds available at this cabin. Now, it's $100 a night per person for nothing, just a slab to sleep on, literally a slab to sleep on. And you hike in with all your own food. I mean, what backpackers normally do? Well, we were not prepared. We had no food, we had no clothes, except for what we were wearing, we had no more water. Thank God there were very kind, thoughtful, considerate other hikers there. Couldn't believe what we had done and how stupidly ill-prepared we were. But we were planning for like a 7-hour hike, not a 27-hour hike. And they do not rescue you. Rightly so, but I have tachycardia issues with my heart, and this is like 9,000 or 10,000 feet, and the altitude gets to me after a while. And there was a ranger up there. He took my blood pressure like every hour till I fell asleep, and they had aspirin. They gave me aspirin, and other hikers gave us food. They were so nice, telling us all these stories. And this is a lottery to get in this cabin for one night normally, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people go into that lottery, and only like 40 are picked. And anyhow, so we were able to get in. Somebody else had left sleeping bags, or they had sleeping bags there. We had to rent sheets, which were overly priced, but who cares? I think it was $30 per person because we were in bunk beds, for sheets for one night. We had to buy bottled water, which was the regular size bottled water was $5 a bottle. We didn't care. Thank God I had a credit card, because my husband didn't bring anything. It was all in the car down at the parking lot where we could not get to it. Oh, that man. He's really smart, but sometimes the common sense just poof out the window. But anyhow, both of our common senses left us this time. So we got up the next morning. Somebody gave us breakfast, eggs, and trail bars. They contributed. But the best part, the sleeping quarters are upstairs, because a lot of times there's snow and you have to be able to get up so that the snow can stay on the ground, blah, blah, blah. You have to have a high elevation because of snow, even in the summer. In fact, my sister and brother-in-law go next week, and their area that they're going to, they can only get to Lake McDonald, and that is still snowed in. Still, in May. But I got up the next morning to go to the bathroom in the outhouse. Yay! For the first time, and there was a gigantic elk with gigantic antlers down at the bottom of our stairs to our cabin, and I'm like, oh my God. And I ran back up the stairs quietly, hopefully, and went and woke up my husband, and I'm like, Ken, there's an elk right here. He goes, I don't care, I can see him at the zoo. I'm like, no, because we were so sore. And I was like, you have to come see this. And thankfully he was glad I woke him up and everything. And this elk stayed there for like an hour. He was just eating grass around the outhouse. I don't know how nutritious that grass was, but he was beautiful. It was outstanding. I would not recommend that for anybody. Luckily, the ranger was able to call our B&B and say they're not coming home for tonight to the hotel, to the B&B place. They will be back in the morning, because we were supposed to check out the next morning because we were traveling to, I think, the mini glacier side. And they did not charge us another night in the hotel. I cannot believe they did not. Or in the B&B, they did not. They were so kind. And I think that year, because 3 years ago, there was horrible forest fires all over the Northwest, and a couple of them in Glacier, because some of these roads that you can normally get through down on the southern tip were closed because of smoke and flames, and we saw some of that. And there were other fires in Washington State, and all the smoke was floating over. It was not a good year for scenery as far as the smoke, but we didn't care. And that was the only way we got into those cabins. But that was my Glacier experience for trip 2. Trip number 1, which was like 10 years ago, we almost stepped on a bear. We were hiking way back up in somewhere. I can't remember. I think it was by Apgar. It's on the west side. There's a beautiful waterfalls and a beautiful, Avalanche Lake, which I don't know where that is on here. I have to research some of this. I think that this is Lake McDonald. Avalanche Lake might be that one right there. But and there's tons of bears in Glacier, grizzlies and black bears and brown bears, or black brown if they're the same. Grizzly, I don't know, but there's lots of bears, and you see them quite frequently. We had seen them on the side of the mountains from our hotels at times, from the lodges at times. You can see evidence of them all over the place. Lots of deer, of course, and elk, and goats. Oh, the goats, the mountain goats, and the bighorn sheep, and it's just amazing. Anyhow, we were hiking on this thing, and when they tell you when you go anywhere on a hiking trail in Glacier, make sure you have bear repellent and or a bear bell, because as long as you don't startle them, they can hide. They can go away from you when they hear you coming if you don't startle them. Well, we were talking, and you're supposed to talk loud, which I've always been programmed in nature. Be quiet, enjoy the nature. Well, not in Glacier. You need to talk loud and have bear bells, and we did. And we were hiking, and we went over a log, and a big log that had fallen, and next to it, perpendicular to that, was another log, and there was a bear right there taking a nap and did not hear us coming. And he poked his head up over the log. I'm like, oh my God, Ken. I mean, he was like 8 feet away from us. It was not a grizzly. I think it was a black bear. But let me tell you, that head was the size of an elephant's head when you saw it like that. And you're not supposed to turn your back on them. You're supposed to back up and slowly back up and keep walking backwards till you can get out of their way. What did we do? No, we got out our cameras and took pictures of them like you're not supposed to do. Stupid. Glacier has all about doing not what you're supposed to do for us. So anyhow, we were fine. The bear was more tired than we were curious, and he had no gumption to get up beyond that log, and he was fine. We walked away after we took our pictures, and that was another bear experience, another crazy tourist experience in Glacier. Okay, let's see. I am going to add a little bit of shadow. This is called shadow, and just make this a little bit darker brown. And then I think I'm just going to let it dry and come back and add some details to it tomorrow. So, when in Glacier, don't do what we do. Do as the ranger tells you to do. But I'm loving this. These are gorgeous. Decadent Pie used to be my favorite because of the gold that's in there, the bronzy color, which all of mine are mixed in here now. But I'm going to have to get a bigger tray because they don't fit in 2 trays anymore. Well, they might. I need to get my husband to hot glue them down. And I have Jane Davenport in here too. Jane Davenport Brights. But the rest are Prima. But, oh. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Prima sets and 1 Jane Davenport. 6 sets of paints. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 6 sets. Oh, God. Oh, we got to do this. Here, let's fill out our sample card on here. Well, I'm babbling. So yes, welcome to the other person watching my videos. I just love the Traveler's Notebook format. I used to be a scrapbooker, but after 25 scrapbooks of 12 by 12 stuff, first I was brain dead as far as ideas for that for a long time. And then about 3 years ago now, I guess it's been, Curdy, I discovered Traveler's Notebooks. And I'm like, that is the format for me. Smaller. And now I don't always use a Traveler's Notebook. I should make a video of all my other Traveler's Notebooks because I have quite a few now. And I had some videos on them, but I have some family members, well, they're my husband's family, that have been mean to me on the internet. And all by choice, I deleted a lot of stuff. That deep moss is gorgeous. So, a lot of my stuff that I had filmed is gone because I took it down and I deleted it off of my system everywhere. But I might do a flip through, or I might just do a little, this is what I've done in the past to give me some street cred. But I do love this format for sure. And I obviously like supplies. And I have a great sponsor. My husband. Got to keep him happy. Although he says he's going to get me a Mother's Day present, which I'm not a mother. Well, I am to the dog, but I don't have any kids naturally. I'm a stepmother. But I've been with them almost from the beginning. The youngest one, who's almost 30, was still in diapers, so that's pretty darn quite a bit. All right, Glacier National Park. We're going to let that dry and come back tomorrow and virtually hike / paint Glacier National Park. Yes, with my Woodlands palette that I absolutely love. I was so excited when this came last night. And I wanted so much to use it this morning, but alas, parents come first. Yep. I came first in their lives, now they come first in mine. So, see y'all tomorrow. Bye!
Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you can. And I will be back in the morning for Glacier National Park.